Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today is an extremely exciting day because I have one of the brand new 2021 Safari LTD figures here to take a look at and review for you guys. This is their newest Daspletosaurus, and it is absolutely beautiful looking here at first glance. An incredibly nice looking figure. Safari LTD was super awesome and sent this over for us to take a look at, get kind of a sneak peek. So a huge thank you goes out to them for that kind gesture, and I am definitely very impressed with the figure overall. I'm first of all super psyched that there is a Daspletosaurus released, because it's not very often that we get Daspletosaurus figures from anybody, but specifically one from Safari LTD. You know you're getting a great figure for sure, especially sculpt-wise, but I actually really quite like the paint as well. Before we go any further with the review, though, I do want to remind you guys that I have a code that is exclusive to this channel for you to use if you are going to purchase any Safari LTD figures today. Make sure you use the code Andy at checkout on the Safari LTD website, as they have supplied us with a really cool discount code to get yourself 15% off on any Safari LTD figures that you choose to order. So make sure you use the code Andy again today at checkout if you are going to buy any Safari LTD figures. But now that we've got a pretty nice look here at the figures standing before us, let's go ahead and get a closer look to check the entire thing out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Daspletosaurus, you can see some incredibly nice, really elaborated scale detail up here on the face. Lots of very nice scale detail, and you can see quite a bit of different variation as far as the sizes of the scales up here on the face of the figure. It looks extremely nice as far as that sculpt work goes. And you can see that the underside here is like a yellowish coloration. It's like a very light yellow. And then as it transitions up, it turns into a darker coloration here. And there's a really nice smooth transition between that darker color and that yellowish coloration. And I think it's a very appealing look for the figure. A really nice looking paint scheme. You can see the nostrils sculpted out up here at the front of the snout. You can also see the inside of the mouth here. The teeth are painted really nicely. There does not appear to be any sloppiness whatsoever as far as the painting of the teeth. You can also see inside the mouth there. The inside of the mouth is painted very nicely with a very realistic tone of like a purple, and has been given a tremendous gloss coat in there, making it shine very realistically. It generally looks almost like the dinosaur actually has a throat back there as well. It doesn't actually look like it ends. It's super cool little details like that I really love. But once we come up here again to the head area, the face area of our Daspletosaurus, you can see the eyes are painted with a beautiful blue and given a nice black pupil, and I really like that the eyes are blue. It looks very nice on the figure overall. As you move back here into the rear of the head, you can see the ear is present, and it has been elaborated with a nice darker coloration right there. Moving down into the neck, you can see that that scale detail continues to look really nice. You also have some kind of skin folding going on here, a little bit of hanging skin in the throat, just a tad. You can see how the skin is kind of bunching up down here a little bit as the jaw is opening, and really making that skin bend right there in the throat. Really nice scale detail. Again, beautiful paint application, nice and smooth transitions like we like to see. Once we come down here into the body, you can see the shoulder blade a little bit there, but not too much. Very nice arm sculpt here in the front. Those beautiful Tyrannosaur fingers, really nicely painted nails as well with a black coloration. Moving back up into the stomach region, you can continue to see that very nice scale detail, that really nice skin texture of the Daspletosaurus, as well as some nice skin folding going on right here as the leg is pushing into the stomach, bunching that skin up quite nicely. Coming back up here to the top of the dinosaur, you can see the hip bone right there. You can also get a pretty good sense of the spinal column that runs down along the back. Coming down here, you can see the skin stretching nicely off of the tail as this leg is pulling forward as it's taking a step and stretching that skin quite nicely. And there's some pretty nice looking muscle tone here within the leg. Nice stripes that run down the course of the leg, giving it just a little bit of a flashy look. Very nice foot sculpt as well. Beautifully painted nails, just like we had seen on the fingers. The dew claw is also present and is also painted. And again, the transitioning between the colors looks really nice, really smooth. The application of the paint on this is very nice and natural looking, I would say. As we start to move back here into the tail, again, some more of that really nice skin texture continues. It looks incredible, and you have some more stripes that run down the course of the tail as we lead out the entire length of the tail, which does have some nice curves to it. Nice natural looking curves, I would say. The underside also sports some incredibly nice detailing here, and you can see that as I take a quick glance here at the underside, there's some beautiful texturing going on, kind of some movement within the skin as far as like skin folding, skin wrinkling, and all that goes. You also have the cloaca present down there just to make sure it is nice and anatomically correct. Looking over here at the opposing side, the head sculpt again looks fantastic, really nicely done as far as that head sculpt goes. And the neck also looks beautiful. You can see the skin kind of stretching over here as the Daspletosaurus has its head turned to the right, so it's stretching that skin quite nicely. Very nice skin detail in the neck region as well as far as the skin texturing goes. Lots of wrinkling right here as well because the Daspletosaurus is picking its head up a little bit higher and kind of bending and folding the skin right there. So that's a really cool little touch that Safari LTD added in there. Really nice doses of realism as always included within the sculpts of the figure. You can again pick up on the shoulder blade a little bit right there. Very nicely sculpted arms, just like we had seen on the opposing side. And then you also have some very nice detailing in the stomach region over here. That skin texture continues to look great. Nice and well-fed looking animal. It doesn't look like it's starving or anything. It looks very healthy as far as a Daspletosaurus goes. I would say it looks nice and young and healthy as well. You can also see that the leg sculpt over here looks beautiful. You can pick up on the hip bone again there and that really nice skin texture as we move down the leg. And once again, those stripes like we had seen on the opposing side that run down the leg. You can also pick up on the calf muscle right here. The musculature of the legs looks great. Very nicely sculpted out foot again with those beautifully painted nails, just like we had seen on the previous side as well. You can once again see how the skin is reacting to the movement of that leg. Very nice attention to detail on the part of Safari LTD as always. And then we lead out the length again of the tail on this side, and you have those nice stripes that make sure that it has a nice flashy look to it. And overall, I think this is an unbelievably gorgeous looking Daspletosaurus and an incredibly awesome release from Safari LTD for the 2021 year. As far as a size goes on our Daspletosaurus, from the tail to the snout here, you are looking at about 9.5 inches or around 24 centimeters roughly. And then for a height to the tip of the snout, about 4.25 inches or closing in on 11 centimeters. For a size comparison, here is the Daspletosaurus for the 2021 year next to a few different figures from different years of the past. And you can see that we have the Safari LTD Ichthyosaurus right here. That was from the 2020 year. You also have the older Amargasaurus as well as a very cool Bigfoot, all from Safari LTD. And you should hopefully have a pretty good idea of the size of this figure next to these three right here. In comparison, I think the Daspletosaurus definitely has a really nice size to it. It's nothing that's overly large. It's nothing that's overly small. It's pretty much like a perfect size. If you have a collection that's just overflowing with figures and you are looking for a fantastic Daspletosaurus to throw into that collection, this is a great choice here on the part of Safari LTD, sporting almost that perfect size. So this Safari LTD 2021 Daspletosaurus is incredibly nice. I am a huge fan of this figure. I was instantly impressed the second I opened the box and took a look at it because it has a very striking look to it, I think, with very nice naturalistic tones of color. I think the sculpt is fantastic as well. A beautiful pose as it's just kind of walking along, maybe letting out a roar or snapping at a pterosaur or something along those lines, maybe even trying to take down some sort of a large dinosaur. Whatever the case may be, it's a very nice looking pose on the figure, nothing overly dramatic, and it actually can stand and balance really quite nicely, which is also a huge plus for the figure. I think the overall fine detailing as well is really nicely done. Safari LTD always does a great job of really paying nice close attention to the way that the movement throughout the animal and the body would look depending on the movement and positioning of the limbs and the different parts of the body. And Safari LTD always manages to capture that perfectly within their sculpts, and that is absolutely no different with this incredible looking Daspletosaurus. The paint as well, again, like I had stated earlier, really nice and flashy looking, but nice natural tones. There are like a few different variations of like that yellowish type of a color, almost like a yellowish orange in certain spots. And then there's like that lighter, almost a creamy type of a coloration. It's like a mixture of like an off-white and a yellow sort of for the lower jaw and the underside of the dinosaur. And then it nicely darkens and very smoothly transitions to that darker coloration for the top. It's like a dark gray that they have over the top, almost like a mixture of like a dark gray and a dark brown. It's kind of a little confusing when you look at it, but the tones again are very, very nicely done, and I think it looks great. I love the fact that they added those stripes down the leg and the stripes out onto the tail. I think everything just looks phenomenal as far as this Daspletosaurus goes when it comes to the paint scheme, but also the sculpt. So this figure is an extremely, extremely beautiful looking figure, and definitely one that I am really happy now to have in my collection. Again, a huge thank you to Safari LTD for sending this over, allowing us to have a look at it so early on. And also a huge thank you goes out to Safari LTD for supplying us that really cool discount code. Again, I do want to stress, if you are going to purchase any Safari LTD figures from the Safari LTD website, make sure you use the code Andy to save yourself 15% off. So if you are going to do just that, I will include a link in the description to the Safari LTD website where you can head on over there, purchase some of their incredible prehistoric figures as we look forward to the releases of each of these 2021 figures. So make sure you do all that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.